right, welcome to another episode of the Jungle Gym. This week we're doing another news update on what's kind of going on in the Pokemon world, and we're going to be talking about PSA grading halting like most of their submission services.
Yeah, that's right. They got basically inundated with so many cards recently. And we're not just talking the Pokemon world, right? We're talking they have to handle sports. Everything across the board has been halted because they just have to catch up on the backlog.
Yeah, so one of the things they've done is they've raised their bulk submission price from $10 a card to $20 a card, but they've also lowered the amount of cards that you need to send to be graded. So rather than it being 20 cards minimum to send off for bulk, it's now 10 cards at $20 a piece. So I think this will cut down on a lot of people sending in extra unnecessary cards to reach that 20 card limit, and will hopefully really speed up the time that it takes to get cards graded from PSA.
Yeah, because ultimately what you want to sort of discourage, right, is like, what's to stop this from happening again?
Yeah. Right? And we're also concerned that like people are just going to be stacking cards and waiting till PSA pretty much opens the gate again to grade them, and then there's just going to be this another wave of like cards that they're unable to deal with in a timely manner. We go back to having to wait a year to get cards graded under the bulk submission service.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Maybe this is going to bring back where there's the two markets again, where there's like the raw market and then there's the graded card market, and now it's going to be, they'll be like two kind of separate things. Because don't you feel like people are just like cracking open everything and then submitting everything?
Yeah, I actually, in my opinion, this is going to really help the entire market out, because you're going to see people being more selective of what cards they're sending off to be graded. There was also all these kind of rumors going around that like once PSA finally got through the the backlog of all the PSA submitted cards, that there was just going to be this overflow of PSA graded cards on the market, and it was just going to devalue graded cards because there's just going to be so many of them on the market. Yeah. But I think by them halting submissions until they get through this backlog is kind of balancing it out, because now there's not really cards being sent in. People are going to be more selective about what cards they're sending in. So I don't see this like tanking the graded card market or anything like that. I actually see it benefiting it in the long run.
And you know what? Talk about the long run of the graded card market, right? Because isn't that sort of the thing about the graded card market? It's supposed to be like an exclusive premium version of the card, like so nice I got it encased. What happens if they made it so if your card wasn't even worth $100, you can't even grade it?
And one of the reasons why we really wanted to bring this video to the attention of our subscribers and our viewers is that we think this, what going on in the PSA world really reflects kind of what's going on in the collectability of the Pokemon world. And so we feel like it's just of value for you guys to know kind of why PSA is kind of making some of these moves and decisions, and how it's going to kind of affect the overall market, and how you should submit and how you should grade cards or whatnot. Yeah, and kind of making the best decision on kind of some of those things, kind of helps you in the long run of, having your collection grow the most in value. You're not grading cards that aren't going to be worth that much or are going to be too common.
Do you think this might spell a time for CGC?
Yeah, well, CGC
to take hold.
For sure. I mean, they're pretty much the next. There's a few other options, right? There's BGS, and there's one other option. I can't think of the name right now, but CGC is going to definitely take up a lot of the Pokemon market for bulk submissions right now, because people have pretty much just pivoted. They can't submit any cards to PSA right now. So in the short run, if you're just trying to still send off monthly bulk submissions, you're definitely going with CGC right now. And we've been kind of predicting this in other videos before, that we see just CGC taking up some of the market share of this PSA kind of graded market.
It almost has to. Yeah.
They're focusing on just Magic and Pokemon, where just like Tony said earlier, that PSA is focusing on sports, Magic, Pokemon, all these other different card games. And so to have people that specialize in all of these different things is much harder to find, or hiring different people for each sector, than just saying, hey, we're going to focus on just Magic and just Pokemon, which is essentially what CGC has done.
And here's another thing I want to also point out, now that we're speaking about grading companies. Isn't it nice that CGC has taken sort of a stance of like, we're tough graders?
Yes. And PSA has just come under new ownership, and so I think some of these changes we're seeing is some of the new management and ownership that's kind of saying like, hey, let's double the price of grading a bulk card, but lower the amount that they have to send in, and let's also say that let's raise the threshold. Instead of it has to be under a $200 card, now it's under a $500 card or around there. So these are very strategic moves that I think are good plays by PSA. But CGC is going with that kind of like, we grade a little harsher than PSA.
Yes.
I personally think they have a nicer encapsulated case than PSA does. It's much easier to like check for edge damage with a CGC case than it is for a PSA case.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, recently I've been seeing a lot of moves by PSA where there's been a lot of like collusion, a lot of like influence in the hobby world. And you know what? I want my grading services to be unbiased.
Absolutely.
I want it to be like the court system.
I want it to be like, if they're grading this card, it's going to always get that same grade no matter who's opened the pack, no matter what influencer, is like involved. Yeah, you know what we're talking about.
But you see what I'm saying, right? Because, and not only that, but I should be able to take two graded cards by that same company, and if they have the same grade, I should be able to hold them next to each other. They should be identical.
So we're going to kind of integrate some of these news episodes into our regular content, but it has been raining so much up here that we just really haven't been able to like bust open too much products out of the jungle.
It's fierce.
And it's also been kind of hard for us to find product consistently, as I'm sure a lot of you guys have been having a hard time finding product, but we finally got our hands on some battle styles. And we're going to do some battle styles episodes where we open up maybe a booster box and a few other battle styles products, and we're going to integrate it into some deck building episodes that we're going to do.
I can't wait, guys. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to show you how to have more fun with your collection. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, me and Tony have actually been playing more Pokemon and competing with each other, kind of getting more familiar with kind of the modern decks and sets, but we're having a lot of fun with it, and we're really looking forward to like kind of show you guys what we've been up to. But thank you to all our subscribers and everyone who has stuck with us. If you haven't subscribed yet, we really appreciate it. It really lets us know that, the value to the information that we're giving you guys. And, hopefully this rain kind of calms down throughout the summer and we can just push out a lot of like dope content that we have planned for you guys. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're going to get out of the rain and we'll see you guys next week.